Sam. Yeah, we are live here at Vol Walk right outside Neyland Stadium. It's going to be a great game between Tennessee and Georgia. Tennessee looking to break an 8-game losing streak, nearly a decade in the making of Georgia just taking down the Vols year after year under Kirby Smart. Elijah, what is Tennessee going to need to do in this game to break that cycle?
Physicality, physicality, physicality. That is the key word for them. The offensive line have to play great. I think defensive line have to play great, but I'm going back to the offensive side. I think with the three-headed monster, we'll have to follow that big old chunk of an offensive line for them guys to win this ball game. Now, we all know Lance hurt. But now it's time for the 4 other guys to get their name called early and often of who are these guys running behind, because that will be the thing. We got to see how physical these guys can be on the offensive side of the ball first.
Absolutely. You talk about winning the one-on-ones in the line of scrimmage. Josh Heupel always talks about making those explosive plays. I don't necessarily think Tennessee wins this game if they can't make plays down the stretch with their wide receivers. They're going to have to win the one-on-ones battles on both sides of the ball. It's going to be a big, big game, and Tennessee, as Coach Heupel said multiple times, they're going to have to play off 4 quarters of this game and just win in every single one-on-one battle. This is a Georgia team that maybe hasn't gotten too much hype early in the season, almost, losing it to Austin Peay last week, but I don't think that you rule them out of this one. They're still a Kirby Smart-led Georgia Bulldog team, so I definitely don't think that you can rule them out. It's going to be a good one. I think it's going to be a close one, and I think it's going to come down to the wire.
And I'm happy you said that. You can't rule down ever any rivalry. So with Georgia coming in town, Gunnar Stockton is looking to play his best. I know the last time they came out here, Carson Beck was the guy, but he wants to make a name for himself, just as much as I said the offensive line. So Gunnar Stockton only had 4 touchdown passes, 2 running, 2 throwing, and that was against Marshall. Nothing against Austin Peay. So he has question marks on him.
Yep.
How did he prove himself? Well, today is the day against Tennessee here in Neyland. And in the Tennessee Vols, they know defensively what they have to do, so it's going to come down to a good one.
The defense, these 2 teams have really stout defenses. Georgia always known to have really, really, really great defenses, but they got a lot of guys lost in the NFL this season, had to rebuild there. Tennessee going to have to win in that battle as well. They don't have their 2 starting secondary guys, Ricky Gibson and Jermon McCoy as well. Also got banged up on the defensive line a little bit too, with David Sanders Jr. not being able to play today. But we shall see what happens in this one. Tennessee taking on Georgia. It's going to be one for the books. Can the Vols break the 8-game losing streak cycle? We'll just have to wait and see. But for now, Sam, I'll send it back to you. I know you went to Georgia, so how you feeling about this one?
Hey, Emily, Elijah, I gotta say, I'm a little bit nervous, but I don't know. Like you said, only time will tell. Excited to see how it all shakes out. We'll see you after the game. We'll check in a bit.
Dobbs heaves it. They're bunched up in the end zone. It's tipped up. It's caught. It is caught. Jawan Jennings.
The Vols versus the Dogs. It's a heated matchup back inside Neyland Stadium this afternoon. This weekend, the Georgia Bulldogs came to town, and if you think this is just another SEC game, think again. This rivalry has history. The last time the Vols beat Georgia was that moment right there back in 2016. Josh Dobbs was the Vols starting quarterback for all 4 years he played, and in this iconic moment, he dropped back, launched a 43-yard Hail Mary, and Jawan Jennings hauled it in. The final score of that game was 34-31, and the Vols ended that season with a 9-4 record and a Music City Bowl win over Nebraska. Dobbs says he's hated Georgia even before he got to Rocky Top. He grew up in Alpharetta, which is just about an hour away from Athens. Now, growing up, Dobbs says it was hard to escape Georgia fans everywhere he went. He says he just couldn't root for them back then, so you can imagine how he felt when Dobbs was the one who left Sanford Stadium silent in 2016.
Especially when they thought they were going to win on the road, they're talking smack. My parents were at the game. They were saying a lot of fans were talking reckless to them in the crowd once they threw their touchdown. And so to be able to see my family celebrate, but also singing Rocky Top while the whole stadium cleared out was really cool.
Dobbs told us that last year in an interview ahead of the Bulldogs-Vols matchup. Tennessee also had its moment beyond miracle catches. From 1989 to 1999, the Vols owned Georgia with a 9-game win streak, the longest in the series. This is video from their win back in 1998. The final from that game was 22-3. The game was a defensive showcase. The Big Orange held Georgia to just 254 total yards and kept them out of the end zone. That marked their second straight game that season without giving up a touchdown. And you know how this story ends. The Vols went on to take home the national championship that same year. Ending the day with a win is top of mind right now for Big Orange fans. Currently, Vegas only has the Bulldogs favored to win by 3.5 points. On Sunday, the spread was at 7.5 points. Kickoff is set for 3:30, just a few hours from now. Now, since early August, we have been searching for Tennessee's craziest Vol fans. From wild tailgates to decked out cars, fans shared it all. And you can still share your passion by scanning the QR code you see on your screen right now. 10 News reporter Emily Crabtree tells us about Mark Markham, a self-proclaimed Vol for life who makes sure to cheer on the Vols no matter the season.
Even before entering the Markham house, you know a Vol fan lives there.
It's the passion. It's just ingrained in me.
Mark Markham has been a season ticket holder for the Vols for nearly 30 years.
Been a fan since 1971. Bobby Majors was my first. He was my favorite player. Jamie Rotel after that, and so I just that's where it all began.
He tells me his uncles were a big reason he became a Tennessee fan.
They just influenced me with Tennessee football, and there came, a lot of pride and passion in that.
For years, Mark would travel from Middle Tennessee to Knoxville to cheer on the Vols in person. He and his family moved from Murfreesboro to the Knoxville area, and while looking for houses, got the opportunity of a lifetime.
I thought, well, this guy's a coach. And then we go downstairs, he's got all these pictures of these players, and I see all these Tennessee warm-ups and everything, and I said, that's Kevin Ramsey.
Ramsey served as an assistant coach for the Vols from 1995 through the 1998 season. And for Mark, the decision to move in was easy.
It was his house, and we did end up buying the house. That wasn't really the reason, but it didn't hurt.
Though he and his family have moved on from that house, one thing has stayed the same. Mark's love for the Vols has stayed in the family and is even being passed down to the next generation.
I'm going to say, go Vols, and it's the passion and the camaraderie of the Tennessee fans that really make it.
Mark says he thinks this is the year the Vols beat Georgia. Now, he says he's already has score predictions ready and is planning to celebrate big when the Vols win. 10 Sports reporter Emily Ray Cochran found one fan whose love for Tennessee football runs much deeper.
Most Tennessee fans have a favorite player. For many, it's college football Hall of Famer Al Wilson. But for Brent Tippins, his admiration for the legendary linebacker started years earlier when Wilson was just a freshman. Just one play was all it took for him to become Brent's favorite, for a reason that goes far beyond football.
If somebody had told me 4 or 5 years ago that I'd have won the national championship my senior year, I'd told her they were lying to me.
Al Wilson is a Tennessee football legend.
Al Wilson again, Ron, the middle linebacker, great intensity.
The defensive leader and heartbeat of the Vols' undefeated run to the 1998 national championship.
Al Wilson will always be one of my favorites.
Die-hard Tennessee fan Brent Tippins was in the stands the night of the championship game.
Great game, ready to do it again.
But ask him about a game he remembers most. It wasn't that one. It was one 3 years earlier when Al Wilson was just a freshman.
This is a picture of me and my dad here on the steps of Neyland. I used to usher back then. We went to the Citrus Bowl the year we played Ohio State.
Brent and his family made the trip to Orlando, excited to watch their home team in a big bowl game. But that morning, his dad felt strange.
Long story short, they got the ambulance and took him to the hospital. And, and my dad at the hospital, he didn't survive that heart attack. And we gave our tickets away and they were donated. There's just no way, we're going to stick around in Orlando. We need to get back to our family.
Less than 24 hours after they arrived in Orlando, filled with excitement, they turned around and went home. Devastated, their car was short one passenger. The long drive was almost too much to bear.
And it was silent. Nobody really wanted to talk, not much, we could say at that point.
Then, somewhere on that quiet drive, Brent's uncle, reached for the radio.
We hear John Ward come across that radio, and he said,
And the tackle is made by Tennessee's Al Wilson, the freshman, and he made quite a tackle.
my dad's name's Al, and that was God's reminder to me that my dad made it home safely, and he made it home to heaven, and is just letting us know, me and his brothers, that he was okay.
Years later, Brent had a chance to share his story with Al face to face.
That there's always a crowd around Al, and I waited for the opportunity, my turn to go up there and talk to him and shake his hand, and I told him, bits and pieces. He was very touched by that story, and he's always cordial and still looks like he can run you over.
But even after 51 years of Tennessee football fandom, it's not just Al or that unforgettable tackle that reminds Brent of his dad.
One thing that Danny White did is he brought back the VOLS letters. And what it reminds me when I'm in that stadium, when that V lights up, that's my dad, he's watching. So, I absolutely love it.
Earlier this year, it was announced that VFL John Henderson would be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. In this afternoon's game against Georgia, the former UT defensive tackle will be honored during halftime. 10 Sports reporter Emily Rick-Cochran runs back the career of one of Tennessee football's most beloved figures.
It's a name that once struck fear in quarterbacks throughout the SEC.
John Anderson. Well, John Henderson.
John Henderson.
That's a big guy. 6'6", 6'7", close to 300 pounds, and runs like a deer. He's an awesome figure that I know as a former quarterback would probably scare you a little bit.
A force so massive, it would often take at least 2 men just to stop him.
The way he plays the game, it's going to be a hard-fought football game. If you don't have 2 guys ready to play to block him, then somebody's going to be in for a long day.
Even the way he warmed up before a game was enough to send chills down your spine.
Oh, Joe, that ain't good enough. Come on, Joe! Ah!
Arriving on campus ahead of the '98 season, John Henderson had to sit out his initial year due to academic ineligibility, but beginning in 1999, his presence made waves on the field and throughout the Vols locker room.
He's the heart and soul of our team, and he's the Al Wilson of '98 for our team. And he goes out there, he gets us fired up, he gets us excited, and we're going to go where John wants us to go. And so I think everybody looks to him for a lot of leadership.
Henderson was a man of many monikers.
Oh, Baby Shaq, JoJo, Mojo, Joe, Neat Freak, just things like that.
Neat Freak?
I can't stand dirtiness. I have, every time I come home, I have to clean, and sometimes I just go to my teammates and clean up their room because it's messy. I just can't stand, I hate being around it.
Despite his tough and clean exterior, he always had a soft spot for his mother.
She's always been there. She calls me for the game and say your prayers, I love you, just the little things Mama do, and she's been going to my games since I was little, and it's just been a big thing with her.
Henderson's career as a volunteer was fruitful. He was a 2-time All-American, 2-time All-SEC team,
John Henderson,
and was the first Vol to win the coveted Outland Trophy given to the top interior lineman in college football. He was drafted 9th overall by the Jacksonville Jaguars in the 2002 NFL Draft. He spent 10 years in the league, making it to 2 Pro Bowls, but it's his time in the orange and white that is something he will always cherish.
Well, I wouldn't trade it because it's something that I can always look back on and just remember and just say, that's the college years, and playing college football was the greatest.
Henderson will be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in Las Vegas on December 9th. Well, when game day approaches, Vol fans do not mess around. Tennesseans bleed orange, but some fans in other states do too. Reporter Alana Mutnick spoke with one Vols fan born and raised in Athens, Georgia, about why he bleeds orange.
We don't wear any red and black in my house.
Alan Posey grew up a Georgia Bulldogs fan, living less than a mile from Sanford Stadium. But he says the 3 years he played for the Vols were the best years of his life.
The tradition and the legacy, it's second to none.
That's one thing I do give Georgia fans a hard time about is they don't have the tradition like we have.
His office in Georgia is now decked in Vol memorabilia.
I got the watercolor, the Neyland Stadium in here. I got my diploma. I got a mini helmet.
And if that wasn't enough Tennessee pride, his son is his living touchdown.
Growing up in Georgia with the name Knox and his favorite color is orange, he might have a tough road to hoe.
When Posey moved back home, he started an Athens alumni group from scratch. 70 die-hard Tennessee fans who get together a few times a year to watch games. And even if he's not in Tennessee, he still wears it loud and proud.
Down here this week, they've been asking the Georgia and what it's like, and they're all saying we don't play anywhere else that's comparable. So, I mean, when that place is rocking, I mean, it's on par with anywhere else in the country.
Posey was a first-generation college graduate on his mother's side. His father and his siblings were, take a guess, UGA grads. And ironically enough, his college football debut was against Georgia State. He says, roots aside, there's no game days like Tennessee game days. Before the pomp and circumstance that ESPN Game Day became known for, 30 years ago, it arrived in Knoxville with a whisper, barely a mention in the newspaper. But as Peyton Mania inched toward its crescendo, a freshman kicker would make his presence known on Rocky Top in a big way during the very first ESPN Game Day at the University of Tennessee. 10 News anchor Brittany Bailey walks us through this piece of Big Orange history.
There's a picture I drew when I was in elementary school about me kicking footballs for the University of Tennessee. I was actually dreaming about doing that.
From the age of 9, former UT kicker Jeff Hall followed that dream all the way to the grass of Shield Watkins Field.
So junior high, high school, and then I got a scholarship to come to the University of Tennessee and play football, and the rest is, I guess the rest is history.
Redshirting his first year, Hall finally got the opportunity to suit up for Tennessee in 1995. And what happened in only his second game in the orange and white would set the tone for his football career moving forward.
I had only played one game, and that was the previous week when we played East Carolina. And that was my first collegiate football game. So this game was going to be my first SEC game.
In Game 2 of the 1995 season, the Vols took on perpetual rival Georgia.
Coach O'Brien, who was our special teams coach, and he came up to me and just said, you know, Jeff, this is what you worked for, and since you were a kid.
With the score tied at 27 and only 10 seconds left on the clock, the Winchester, Tennessee native entered the field focused.
You just don't think about it. You know, kicking in that kind of situation is you have to go blank in your mind for about 45 seconds. And then once it's over, you can breathe again. When I ran out there, I remember Coach Fulmer yelling, "Make Winchester proud." So Jason Price was the holder my freshman and sophomore year. All summer long, he said, man, you're going to kick this game-winning field goal, you're going to jump in my arms. And then the second game of the season, he gets down, puts his finger on the ground. Then he looks up at me and says, get ready to jump into my arms. And I'm thinking to myself, why did you say that? And then after that, he just turned, set, here comes the ball. I take my couple of steps, follow through, the ball's in the air. And then immediately I turn around and jump into his arms. That kick gave me so much confidence that, hey, this is what I'm here to do. I'm here to make field goals, whether it's in the first quarter or at the end of the game.
As for what he would go back and tell that child who drew the picture dreaming of playing for Tennessee?
When you dream about getting to a point, in athletics especially, and you dream about that point, you finally get there, and this whole dream just seems larger than life. I would tell that 9-year-old kid, it turns out even better than you think it can.
Hall would go on to be a part of the 1998 National Championship team and have a stint with the St. Louis Rams before retiring from the sport. ESPN's College Game Day began setting up Thursday afternoon. By Friday morning, fans were already lined up, hoping to be front row for the show. That show aired this morning, wrapping up just about an hour ago. We stopped by campus on Friday afternoon and talked to students who were camping out. 10 News reporter Olivia Digg spoke to so many UT students who say this is a highlight of their time here at UT, and there's some serious dedication.
No doubt, ESPN's College Game Day is bringing excitement to Rocky Top.
It's insane. Like, it's so fun. You could tell everyone's nervous, but everyone's so excited.
Some fans like this junior are proving their volunteer spirit by waiting in line.
I got here at 2 a.m. this morning because I want to be first in line to make sure I can be front and center for tomorrow for College Game Day and have an opportunity to kick a field goal.
He's part of a dedicated group who prepared for this.
And we made an Excel sheet of shifts for when people in our group would come and they would replace us.
To get a coveted spot, some students are making sacrifices.
Are you skipping any classes to be in this?
I am, yeah. Just 2, though. They're on Zoom, so I can go back and watch them.
And they're spending some green to see the Big Orange take the Bulldogs.
I didn't get a ticket in either of the raffles, so I went and bought one on Ticketmaster for a few $100s.
And this SEC opener is a big one. Tennessee hasn't beat Georgia since 2016.
I'm hoping Matthews can give us some bombs.
I'm going to be honest, Fall Nation will show up tomorrow, and we're going to give Georgia a very hard time.
Here on the lawn, there's a lot of camaraderie between the orange and white fans and also a lot of hope.
I feel like this is one of the first times we're playing Georgia in the past couple of years that, like, we really do think we have a good chance.
And
go Vols!
Plenty of this.
Go Vols!
Go Vols!
Go Vols and let's beat Georgia.
Well, that message echoing loud and clear around Knoxville. Big Orange fans are lining up right now for the Vol Walk. Let's take you there. Well, there you can see it looks like the players are arriving. They are waving the flag, getting ready. Definitely looks to be a crowded game there. There you can see a lot of fan excitement, certainly a sea of orange and white as everyone gets ready to welcome those players into Neyland Stadium. Wow, definitely a lot of activity. That camera shaking a little bit. As you can see, our sports reporter Elijah Nixon is there trying to deal with all of the hullabaloo that comes along with that game. But here you can see the rock. It is painted for College Game Day, which again happened earlier this morning. There you can see quarterback Gunnar Stockton going up against quarterback Joey Aguilar, and some people taking pictures today. Campus is certainly going to be packed. We have an exciting game ahead. Thank you so much for getting ready for game day with us. Again, the Vols kick off in just a few hours at 3:30. We will have all the highlights and the latest from Neyland Stadium. That's coming up tonight on 10 News at 11.